Farmers in Nigeria should be allowed to carry AK-47 for self-defense, says Ortom. Magistrate court in Zimbabwe rules Robert Mugabe's remains must be exhumed for reburial at National Shrine. President Joe Biden asks U.S. citizens to remain united as country remembers victims of attack 20 years after. Details coming up shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and you're watching TOS News 360. A Zimbabwean court Friday upheld a traditional court ruling that the body of former President Robert Mugabe must be exhumed and reburied at the National Hero Shrine in the capital city. In May, traditional chief Zimba from Mugabe's rural Zimva area ordered that his remains be interred at a shrine in Harare, where the ruling elite and former fighters in Zimbabwe's 1970s independence war are buried. Mugabe's children had in June challenged the chief's controversial ruling at a magistrate court, arguing he acted outside his jurisdiction when he found former First Lady Grace Mugabe guilty of violating tradition by burying the strongman at his homestead. She was fined Grace 5 cows and a goat for not carrying out the burial properly. And now to Nigeria, the Governor of Benue State, Ortom, has said that farmers in Nigeria should be allowed to carry weapons like the AK-47 rifles herdsmen use so they can defend themselves. Ortom made the statement while fielding questions from newsmen at the Makurdi airport on his arrival from the People's Democratic Party meeting in Abuja. Governor Ortom described the situation whereby herdsmen carry sophisticated weapons like the AK-47 rifle while farmers are asked to defend themselves with cutlass and ding guns as unfair. He said he is happy that the House of Representatives is working towards a legislation whereby every Nigerian will have weapons to defend themselves. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on medical doctors across the country to call off their ongoing industrial action as Nigerians are currently in critical need of their services, thereby asking those contemplating strike to instead choose amicable settlement of all grievances. The president made this call on Friday when he received members of the Nigerian Medical Association at the presidential villa in Abuja. He therefore urged the striking doctors to settle issues by negotiation, assuring that all outstanding benefits owed to medical doctors will be cleared after verifications. A court of appeals sitting in Abuja asked the Rivers and Lagos state government on Friday to stop action on their bills to collect value-added tax pending the resolution of the legal dispute on the matter. A three-man panel of the appellate court led by Tsanami demand that the enforcement of the judgment of then Federal High Court Port Harcourt lashed onto by the state government be put on hold. Haruna Tsanami also suspended the operation of the law passed by the Rivers State House of Assembly and assented to by Governor Nyesom Wike for the collection of VAT by the state government. The suit was then stipulated for 16 September 2021 for hearing on an application by the Lagos state government to join the suit. And now to development across Africa, President Kais Saied has said Tunisia would not tolerate foreign interference in the country's political crisis as it faces rising pressure from Western government to restore constitutional order after seizing power in July. Elected in 2019, Saied on July 25th froze parliament, dismissed the prime minister and assumed executive authority. His Islamist opponent labeled the move a coup, but he has said the moves were necessary to save the country from collapse. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell, who visited Tunis on Friday, said he conveyed European concerns about preserving democratic gains in Tunisia to Saied. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS Television, and you're watching TOS News 360. Stories in Africa plus global and business. When we return, stay with us. Welcome back. A military helicopter crashed in northern Ivory Coast while on a reconnaissance mission near the border with Burkina Faso, killing all 5 crew members, the Defense Ministry said on Friday. An investigation has been opened to determine the cause of the crash, the ministry said in a statement. Ivory Coast borderlands with Burkina Faso have emerged as hotspots of insecurity in the past year following several attacks by Islamist militants believed to be linked to Al-Qaeda. On the global scene, Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has been invited by the country's chief public prosecutor to explain his connection to the main suspect in the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. President Moïse was assassinated when gunmen stormed his home on 7 July. A letter sent by Prosecutor Bedford Cloud to Henry on Friday said the hearing at the Court of First Instance of Port-au-Prince will take place at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Prosecutor Bedford Cloud said that just hours after the killings, Henry had multiple phone calls with suspect former Haitian Justice Ministry official Joseph Felix Badio, suspected to have ordered the assassination. And U.S. President Joe Biden, in a video released on the eve of the 20th anniversary of the 2001 11 September attacks, has urged unity as his country's members the 2,977 victims of the attacks. He acknowledged the darker forces of human nature, fear and anger, resentment and violence against Muslim Americans which followed the attacks, but said that unity had remained the U.S. greatest strength. Meanwhile, the Queen of England, in a message to Biden, said her thoughts, prayers and those of her family and the entire nation remain with the victims, survivors and families affected, as well as the first responders and rescue workers called to duty. Among the dead in the 11 September attacks were 67 Britons. Israeli forces on Saturday captured 2 more of the 6 Palestinian militants who made a dramatic escape from a maximum security Israeli jail this week. A police spokesperson said the 2 men were found hiding in a truck parking lot in an Arab village in northern Israel near the city of Nazareth, where 2 other escapees were captured hours earlier. The 6 men have either been convicted or are suspected of planning or carrying out deadly attacks against Israelis. Israeli officials have pledged a thorough investigation into apparent security lapses that allowed their escape. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has denied tampering with funds meant for the Federation account to declare its first profit of 287 billion naira in 44 years. The reaction follows doubts expressed by some critics over NNPC's declaration of profit, including allegations that the state-owned oil company dipped its hand into the Federation account to declare profit. NNPC's Group Executive Director of Finance and Account, Ajia Umar, explained that the National Assembly steps in occasionally when the account is sent to the Public Accounts Committee to review how much each revenue agency, including NNPC, has brought into the coffers of the government, adding that NNPC profit originated from the write back of 13.4 billion naira. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African News Network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs on the network. I am Merciful Ajinomo. Many thanks for watching.
But we as a continent are now defining ourselves